Alright, so this is working fantastically. So this is the overflow from behind the earth bridge up on the hill, up above on that platform. So we've come down here and we're by the archery target. And so this area here has filled in. Basically, I created a terrace across this eroded landscape, and I put a catch basin on the back side of it. And some water still seeps through, but this is mostly all rock, and so and I mean, we're a good 20 feet or 15 feet wide, and we're only holding back just a few feet of water over here. So all of this water used to just rush right past the property. It used to wash out the road. It used to add to the water that was making the rivers run brown and past their boundaries that they're intended to be. And so now it's spreading out, and it's able to recharge some areas that haven't seen water like this for a long time. And that gets root networks driving themselves much deeper into the ground because the water is showing a pathway. And areas that have improved before have already, trees have already started popping up in these areas. So like this hole right here, that's about 7 feet deep. And there's a hole right here that's about 7 to 10 feet deep. So then we're going to show, because this is the most that this has filled up so far. This feature was installed about 3 years ago, and it hadn't yet received enough water to fill it up. So now the overflow from this, we're going to go visit that right now. And if I had a cooler camera, I'd pause this so you don't have to see everything. But while we're here and seeing things, this is some of the other little features that are here. There's actually some goldfish underneath there. I think there's hopefully still going to be alive in the spring. And we've got stairs and steps. So this is as far as this water catchment is intended to come to. But the overflow, okay, so now the overflow, we've got a pathway right here, see? And now at the bottom is where it can fill up and start spilling over. A good shot of the pallet fence we were just installing. So now, oh, awesome. Yeah, this part has never filled up before. We've never had enough water. Haha, this is awesome. Oh, woohoo! Right on. I wish I had a camera on that, and that'd be entertaining for you. So yeah, so anyway, this is all full. So now the next step on this one is for it to spill out over here by the stairs. And I'm going to have to get back up over here so we can go that way, because for the first time in my lifetime, that is flooded. And that's awesome, because that means that we're really going to be able to hold some water to the land. So now what happens is, hey, we got trees, right? And that rock was right in the way of where I wanted to put that tree. And we have more rocks, lots of rocks. So now, when this water, and I think it's going to rise another foot, and then it dumps out right here. So now it dumps out into this, and I'm hoping that tomorrow we're going to be able to update this video. So it's going to flow down through here, right? And it's going to flow down to this final terrace on the property. And in this terrace, you can see, it's been a collection zone right now. So some of these items might get flooded, but that's okay with me. And so it'll come up to about the road. This is a concrete retaining wall, a little decorative wall that I'm creating. And here's another one over here. So this is all concrete that people have brought me from town, so they didn't have to pay to throw it away. So anyway, here is the final terrace on this part of the property. So the water can then come down in here. You can fill this up. And we're only talking about 1.5 feet of water here. And this is all hugelkultur. So these are mounds, giant mounds of trees and branches and leaves and cardboard and some rocks. And for it to actually be considered like a finished hugelkultur product, all of the things that stick out of the pile will be cut back, and it'll be capped with a mulch. But these are truckloads of material that I get from town. So anyway, and this is the pathway out for the water to flow from what we started at. So it can fill up into here, all the way in here, and it soaks into all of this decaying organic matter. And you can see right up there. Let's see, I'm kind of new with this camera, so welcome for the new ride. Anyway, on the other side of that bush up there is the archery target that we started out at. And so now we've come full circle, and we've created a lot more area for the water to be spread out on and to recharge, make it usable, because like all of this stuff that soaks up the water, it works like a sponge. And so you can plant things in it with a lot more success, especially in the desert. So anyway, this is the apocalyptic ashram Hawks Haven, located in central Washington. teaching how to have a revolution of the individual using yoga and meditation and the landscape so it catches and captures the water where it falls to promote abundance and a healthy, hydrated landscape where we reduce the fire, flood, erosion, drought, famine, and homelessness. Because when people say, how do you do homelessness too with this? Whatever, man. And I say, well, because if foods are able to grow more abundantly in the landscapes, then people aren't so reliant upon cities and they won't be polluting the streets. I mean, who really wants to live in nature? But the lions and tigers and bears, oh my, right? And here's a micro feature I had installed years ago, just to catch a little bit of the water and get it diverted to just keep it a little higher on the hill. But this is the pathway that the water would just rush down through. And it just caused problems. I mean, and everybody in town, they would complain about problems, but yet they don't know the solutions, it seems, because hardly any energy is being put towards that. Well, you can see, there's somebody down here, that this is kind of a hidden little spot. So it looks like they come here and they drink their beer and they throw them all out on my property. That's like zombies. That's what zombies do. But you know what? I turn trash into treasure. And just like we were talking about how we don't want to be living in a city if it's all about dependency, those bottles can become a house. If you go to Home Depot and you bought some bottles that look like bricks, they're going to be a couple dollars a piece probably. But if they look like a beer bottle, that's okay too. And they're free. And you can really build some cool stuff out of them. So I'm going to walk around until either the battery dies or the memory is full. Because this is my favorite time of year. And I really think that this is neat. Recharging the desert and building oases. Because as a kid, I always wondered, I'm like, well, God, how does an oasis happen? I mean, if everything else is dead and dormant and dehydrated, and everything else can't really sustain life, but yet wherever there's an oasis, everything thrives. Like all these trees, they didn't start popping up until that first earth bridge went in. Started holding back, a couple 100,000 gallons to the landscape, keeping it in the soil, and it helps it grow.